So good evening to each and every individuals. Welcome to Issues in Focus this evening with Shabiki Vivals. And it's such a pleasure to have each one of our viewers here on the platform. With me, I have some special young people, the Harmonites, as we would usually call them. And we are pleased to have them. So before we go any further, let us pray. Father God, we are so thankful for this evening's program. I pray in a special way as other young people listen and interact with these Harmonites. May they be touched by their experiences, and at the end of the day, may each one of them be motivated to do even better for this new school term. Have your way, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so I just want to say welcome to these three special young ladies. We have Lalini Grant, Kiva Winchester, and Angelica Bedlow. I had the privilege of teaching all three of them during the course at Harmon only just for a few months, maybe 3 months or so. We didn't have that much interaction, but what I can say for the short time that I would have met with them, I really enjoyed the interaction. I'm really proud of their successes. And I know for a fact that this evening's program will serve as a motivation to everyone. I see Dr. Shaw is already here. Dr. Shaw, welcome to you. And she is waiting to hear what you guys have to say. And she would have said congratulations to the graduates and their families. So we're going to get straight into this program, this evening's proceeding. And so our young people, just tell us, I just want each one of you, just tell me a bit more about yourself as we go along this evening. So Lalini Grant, who really is Lalini Grant? How would you describe you?
Determined, fun, outgoing. Yeah, basically it.
All right. Thank you very much, Lalini. Kiva, what about you? How would you describe Kiva?
I would say fun, active, yeah.
All right. And Angelica.
Oops. Good night, everyone. I would describe myself as being outspoken, a bit artistic. I'm also very courageous, and I like to encourage others. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And so, so students, right away, I want to get into it. I don't even know if to call you students right now. You're big people now. You're finished with secondary school. About to enter the world. But anyway, you're still my students. So, I'm going to start with Lalini. Then I'm going to go to Kiva. Then Angelica with this question here. I know Harmon. For those of you members of the audience who may be listening, it's a Seventh-day Adventist institution in the beautiful island of Tobago. And I must say, there are many success stories coming out from that school. And to start off with, ladies, I just want to ask you, tell us about your journey attending a Christian Seventh-day Adventist school. I know for us, for those of you who are from Guyana who may be on, I know we don't have the experience of having a full-fledged Adventist school, especially when it comes to the secondary school aspect of it. But these students had the opportunity of experiencing Christian education. So tell us about your journey attending a Christian Seventh-day Adventist school.
Well, for me, it was interesting and fun because I am a spiritual Baptist and the school is a Seventh-day Adventist. Although we are under the same religion, Christianity, we are different denominations. And we will have different teachings and interpretations of the Bible. So it was very interesting to me to get to learn their aspect and how they interpret the Bible. I love that they prayed before doing everything and ending of everything. So it helped me to pray more also to go deeper into the Bible, understanding their perspective on how they see it. So yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Lalini, for sharing that. You see, I didn't even know that you're a spiritual Baptist. And that is to say, members of the audience, I mean, somebody may be asking, do I have to be a Seventh-day Adventist to attend Harmon School? No, you don't have to. Anybody, any denomination, any religion, as a matter of fact, you can still attend Harmon School. But the main difference is that the foundation is a biblical foundation. So your students will have a lot of exposure to spiritual stuff. All right, Kiva, what about you?
I will say my Harmon's experience, it was quite interesting. There were times I don't really go and, you know, interact with people. I more sit down in my corner, either doing something, right? Or I might be sitting down reading or trying to draw, right? But there are times when I will like interact with my best friend Angelica, right? We will talk about what's going on between each other's family. We used to sit down, make jokes, and there are times when I might interact with other students. But it was a very nice experience.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much, Kiva. Angelica, what about you?
My experience, I must say, was quite comfortable and welcoming. I felt at home while I was at Harmon School of Escape. The reason why is because I was, you can say, born an Adventist, a Christian, and being there, it really helped to establish the foundation of Christianity. And basically, what they teach us is what I've learned from back then. So it wasn't anything new. I must say, the teachers, they even if some of them may not be of the same religion, also they were very encouraging, and we never had any reason to fear them, or they all were like family, encouraging everyone. So I must say that my experience was a very good one. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. I love the responses. And so in as students, I mean, all of us, we have our challenges that we face from time to time. It's almost like impossible to go through school without facing challenges. And so I would like to know, what are some challenges you would have faced personally as a student, especially taking, in light of COVID-19 and all of those things coming onto your latter part. You can tell me, you can start the journey, because right through, I guess you will have different challenges. So what were your challenges during your stay there?
My biggest challenge was to avoid procrastination. Be- During the time, it was very hard to convert to online learning. So I would have more time at home to myself. So I would think sometime that I could just throw off the work to a later date. But I also don't want it to catch up with me. So I'd always have to force myself to do it when given at hand to start studying ahead and stuff. So that was my biggest challenge.
Yeah. Lalini girl, I think it's all over. I mean, uh I was a procrastinator, still is in certain cases. So when students tell me about procrastination, I can preach on it because of the fact that it hampers your success. If you're really and truly, so even for persons in the audience who may be looking on, I mean, if you are a big procrastinator, please try your utmost by the grace of God to cut it out, because trust me, it will hamper your success. Kiva.
My greatest problem was focusing, especially at home, because like how situations at home, you used to have a lot of noise, right? And it used to be hard, to sit down one place and then get nobody harass you or come and disturb you from doing your work. So that it was my hardest challenge.
Totally understand that. Totally understand that. I know, even me, I mean, I am not a student, but when you are amongst friends and everything, it's like, I remembered one night I had this program, and I was live, and one of my friends, she didn't know I was live, and she started singing. And I can't leave. When you start a program, you can't leave. And especially, sometimes in a classroom setting, you can't just randomly just get up like that and all of that. So I totally understand. So I am sitting there focused, and I'm saying, girl, I'm on the program. Don't you remember it's Thursday night? Right? And that is all I keep, I'm talking to the audience, and I'm interacting, and that's all I'm saying in my mind. It's Thursday night, it's Thursday night. So as soon as the opportunity came, person spoke, I just had to quickly, okay, it's time. Let me mute my microphone. And so I can really and truly imagine what the situation was like, being in that. And there are many other students who may be facing, that's the reality of the virtual space that many persons are facing and the situation. Angelica.
My biggest issue, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic, was basically the inability of not having face-to-face classes, like, not being able to be there. My reason is, well, usually since we are not face-to-face with each other, right? We would have to watch videos, and videos is a good means of learning stuff. Like how a teacher will teach you. You can watch a video and it will teach you a lot. But usually when my teachers send me videos, I don't really go through them. To be honest, I will fast forward it because especially if see is over, like let's say 5 minutes, I'm like, I don't want to watch that, and that it takes away a lot from me. So that is what made me had most difficulties during this time.
During a period of time, yeah. Yeah, I could and we are living in this fast track generation, and for the parents who are listening on, this fast track generation here, I know sometimes we want to force our children to do certain things, but most times the attention span is extremely limited. And I think it made it worse with this virtual space, because every day they're looking at videos, but many times the videos that you put up or you send to them for classes, for whatever reason, they're not interested in that, but yet still they will go and they will look at other videos that are at longer span than that. But these are just some of the realities we have to understand about our young people as they navigate their schooling. And as parents, you're faced with another term well, we don't know what will officially happen this semester in terms of the reopening of schooling around the Caribbean. But that's the reality, parents, you will be faced with, at least for September month. And just an encouragement for just a little more understanding in that respect, as you encourage them as they navigate the online learning. And so, girls, I want to know, how has God and your parents and teachers contributed to your success? I know we had a wonderful graduation ceremony. Even today, as I looked at the flyer, I was just super proud of you guys. But how has God, your parents, and your teachers would have contributed to your success? Angelica, we're going to start with you with this question, then we're going to go to Lilini, and then we're going to come back to Kiva.
Well, firstly, God has just by him allowing me to see another day, he has greatly contributed to this. My teachers, I would also like to thank them, for their dedication in helping me. I never had a problem, in which I say I don't like any of the teachers. I was close with all the teachers, and it's because they created an atmosphere that, we should be comfortable around them and stuff like that. My parents, my family members, from time to time they will encourage me, to keep on going. Whenever something good happen, or whatever, they will be there and they will be there to support. So all of that took into account with, where I am today. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm super proud of that. And as you mentioned, teachers, Angelica, well, me being a teacher and especially being a new teacher at Armand there just for a few months, I am super impressed with the staff, right? And their cooperation, the unity, and the fact, even for me, I felt as if, hey, if I was a student here, I know I would have been comfortable. Because what happened when I started my very first month as a teacher in January, I was like, whoa, boy, I've never experienced this. I was seated with another teacher, Mrs. Kirk. I noticed she's in online, and just ensuring that my transition to the students, it was so effective. So I sat there for about 2 weeks, and all I did was just observe and get to know students and see how things were. And for me personally, I felt super good about that. And so even when we met as a staff, and even when I came to school last term physically and really and truly interacted with you guys, it was such a fantastic feelings. And publicly, I don't know if there's any other teacher online, but congratulations and continue the good work. I know I am proud to be a part of the staff there, and I know for a fact the students would have enjoyed their tenure there. Lalini, what about you?
God has always been there for me. He said he would never leave nor forsake me, and he indeed did not. So before I make any major decisions and feeling to give up also, I would always pray on it, and he has always brought clarity towards that for me, help me to understand my work, to calm my frustration, to let me not worry as much. For my parents, my mother, she was always there for me, always is there for me, sorry. Even when I was studying late, doing projects late, or even doing certain research to understand the work better, she'd always lay on the couch outside until I'm finished. And if she saw me frustrated also, she'd bring water or cut up some fruits and bring it. Or even she'd start to pray and I'd hear her sometimes. If she saw me like very beyond frustrated and that I needed to move away from what I was doing, she'd move me away, talk to me, get my mind off it. And when I go back, I usually understand it better actually. So yeah, my brothers, they always try to help me with whatever little part that they can, supporting me, always motivating me, reassuring me that I can do it. My other family members always give words of advice and inspirations and motivations. My teachers, they always made sure that they were easily accessible, always reminding me that, hey, I'm here to help you understand if you need help. Just call me, I'll be there. They always made sure I understand the work, interpret it right, made sure I had everything that I needed to understand it. Always reassured me that, hey, yes, you can do it, Lalini. Just put your mind towards it and you'll get it done.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. What stood out to me from your response, as it relates to um your mom. I know your dad would have passed when you were very young. You were about 12 or some
Yeah, 12.
12 years old, and you had to navigate that pathway alone. But your mom, I mean, if she's listening to me, I am just it melt my heart just listening to that, because many parents, I mean, I have taught fifth form, fourth and fifth form students for quite a number of years back home in Guyana, and I must say all of them did not have the mother experience or the father experience to help them through this particular phase of their lives. And to hear you speak like that, we need more for the moms and the dads who are in the chat listening, you in the audience listening. These children need super support from you. And I want to let you know, not because things are online, it is even more difficult for them. And so, Lalini, if your mom's name is Mrs. Grant,
Yes.
great, Mrs. Grant, I must say I am not only proud of your daughter, but I am super proud of how you would have supported her during this journey. And we will get to know a little more about her success story in just a bit, because I that graduation ceremony, as I keep reflecting on it, wow, 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 great. Kiva, so we are on the question, how was God and your parents and even teachers, how have they contributed to your success?
God, He has been the most important part of my success because every morning, sometimes I might forget, right? And my mother does always come and remind me to come and say a prayer. She has read my devotion. We has read each other devotions to each other. And then we will go off to make breakfast. And while we're making breakfast, she will play a little music, right? And while we're making breakfast, we might, dance along in the kitchen. And then my sister will come and join. But in all of that, my mother, even though she might not have a full high school education, within everything that all the schoolwork, everything, she has always been there for me. My sisters, my big sister is the librarian of Harmons. In any project or anything I have to do, she always there for me. Even though, see, like my mother might not have money at the moment, and I needed something for a project, right? I could go to my sister, and most of the time I don't even go. She will pop out of nowhere and she will like buy this stuff for me, and I will be like, I was not looking to actually to buy so and so for me. So it's like God spoke to her in some way and told her what I needed, and she will come through with it. My teachers, especially Miss Phillips, she's always been there, especially for HSB. I wasn't really a drawer, and like she encouraged me, right, to do my best. And I'll be honest, I'm not a good drawer, and with that, I've seen improvements. I've been able like to sketch things off the bat, and I am absolutely grateful for that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, now I did not know the librarian was your sister. Now I know, right? But I'm happy that she would have been there. Well, she is there, and she would have offered that amount of tremendous support to you during your stay there at Harmon School. Man, I'm just super proud, when I see like your VP right now would have, commented here, well done, young people, keep representing excellence. And I just want to say that to you guys, keep representing excellence no matter where you are and no matter what your accomplishments will be in life. I know for some members of the Lalini, you and yourself and Angelica would have worked in the committee together. I know I would have been happy to have some more of the committee members here, but I know everybody, we engage in different things. But what I want to know is, how was your experience working in the committee together? Because it's a different thing doing a class activity together, but this here is the entire class of 2021. They're depending on you guys. They're looking for execution, they're looking for ideas, they're looking for you guys to lead. How was that experience working together with different persons in terms of personalities and all of this? And what was your experience like? This question is particular for Lalini and Angelica because the two of them were in the committee.
It was fun, I must say, because we already knew each other very close. Basically, say we are family, so it wasn't anything new. We got along just fine. It was, yeah, the whole experience was fun.
So, did you guys had any conflict?
No,
Wow. Wow. Okay.
we had different opinions on how to do things, voicing our opinions, but there was, I wouldn't say it was conflict.
I understand. Wow. Man, I'm so happy to hear that. Angelica, what about you? What was your experience like?
My experience, well, obviously everyone has different opinions and personalities. So most of the time they would be very cooperative, and when we were in school, we would come together, well, keeping the distance, right? But we will be there and we will discuss different stuff, and they will all sit there and they will voice their opinion. They won't always agree with what we have to say, and they would sometimes oppose. And in a short instance, such as making up like class you know, asking persons to volunteer for stuff like that, some of them will back up because they're not singers, they don't like to be out in the crowd. But all in all, it was a good experience, probably once in a lifetime for some persons, and it's definitely something you would want to get into.
Beautiful, beautiful. I remembered well, we didn't had. I'm trying to reflect on my secondary. It was so long ago. My secondary school years, I can't remember us having a committee, you know, to plan graduation. I can't remember that in secondary school. I know for sure the university experience being our committee. And when you're dealing with older folks, you will have your little conflicts. Differences of opinion, but not only differences of opinion, but person saying, hey, I don't want that. Two persons may want this, three other persons don't want that, and things like that. So I am happy to hear that you guys had no conflict, but just differences in opinions as you would have proceeded. We have a surprise guest for you students here this evening. I know you don't know she will be here. I did not tell you that she will be here, but she will be joining us. And as after I introduce her, members of the audience, we had the class of 2021. They would have prepared a class song. I was trying to get it from YouTube, but unfortunately, I did not succeed in it. But two of the singers they're here, Angelica and Kiva, they're going to do a portion of the song for you that they would have sat together as a committee and they would have created super. I think maybe next, maybe, but I don't. No, I don't want to promise next week, but I really want you to hear the original version sometime on the program. If not, well, most likely not tonight. Some other time you will hear Harmon's song the students would have created. So welcome, our surprise guest is here. Let me add her to the stream now.
Hello.
Madam Principal.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening and welcome to you this evening. I am so proud of to have Ms. Chanel Ross here with us, the principal of Harmon School of SDA, one in whom I enjoy working with. She would have been an excellent supporter when I was employed. I am there. I am still getting her support, and I had the privilege of interacting with her while she would have taught some of her, well, yeah, some of the classes. And I must say she is an excellent teacher, and I mean mathematics teacher at that. So Mrs. Ross, welcome again. Mrs. Utley, rather, welcome again to this program this evening. But before we go any further, before I ask some questions, I need, of course, the principal to answer some questions. But at this point in time, let me just highlight Angelica and Kiva as they do portion of the theme song that they would have created for graduation. Go right ahead, ladies.
Standing in a water apartment, whispering and prayer in my head, lifting up my head, taking one step at a time. Don't know what I face now, yearning for them back then. In this world, we're not alone. Don't know what I'd face next, but wish I knew this back then. Kiva, you're mute.
Kiva, you muted?
Kiva's mute.
All right, I realize that Kiva does not really know that she's muted at this point in time. Kiva?
Oh my gosh.
That's all right.
I'll start over. Oh, and I'm in family. Family is no one's left behind. We will stand on our feet, hand in hand, 'cause we're all family.
All right. All right. So I don't know, sometimes, but and that's why I have to, I will be. And the reason why I'm gonna deliberately show you the recording is because of the fact I want to encourage persons. When we listen today, because you may not be able to get the meat of it tonight, because when you do stuff over these platforms here, it doesn't come out the real way in which you want it to. But I am proud of the fact that the students would have sat and they would have written the songs, right? 2 songs they would have written together as the class poets. And so, I mean, Angelica, thank you. Kiva, thank you. So, Madam Principal, welcome once again. And so, we're going to give the principal, I'm going to ask the principal a few questions, allow her to leave, and then students, we are going to continue this particular discourse here this evening. And so, Madam Principal, I want to go for the first one in terms of you being the principal of a Christian institution, a Seventh-day Adventist institution at that. How was that experience like for you?
I would start first by saying it has been a very humbling experience. I remembered the first day that I became the principal. I had a day with the Lord at a riverside. And one of the messages I received was just as the rocks are tough, well, rough and rugged, so will be your journey. However, there will be lots of blessings and peace, just as this water flowing by. And I lived with that message and saw it come to pass because I became principal in February 2020, and March 2020, we experienced a pandemic. So imagine a young lady without any experience in principalship having to lead an entire school in a time of pandemic. Added to that, I still had to teach this same group of students and another group. So I used to say I have two classes. I have the young people to lead, and also I have my colleagues to minister to.
Yeah.
So there were some blessings too, in spite of those challenges that I experienced. One of the blessings, it starts with my family. My husband and I became even closer, and he was a big support to me. So, Mr. Theophilus Utley, I am very thankful for your support, and I'll call it sometimes spoiling me.
Aww.
The other group that I am really blessed with is my sisters. Anything I have, we are a bunch of 7. So I have 7 for my mom, but I have other sisters and brothers too. But those 6 closely knit sisters, they offer word of prayer. They will be there as a support. And then I have a bigger family in the staff of Harmon School. The teachers, very cooperative, very caring. They have different sections. There will be those who are there to help me lead, those who would give advice now and again, those who will come to give me a little laugh now and again. And then there are those who would say, Miss, it is time to rest. Miss, it is time to do something different. So I'm very thankful for these groups. I'm also thankful for the parents. They have been so supportive up to, I think it was 2 weeks ago. About 5 parents messaged me and told me, I am personally praying for you.
Wow.
This is a rough time. And that was around this vaccination time. And they said, we are praying for you. One even said, I will call my church and ask the prayer warriors to pray in this situation. And I know they are still praying. And I'm so thankful for those parents. I'm also thankful for the students. Lalini, Kiva, Angelica, Rishon, who was supposed to be here. I won't forget this bunch of students at all. They grew on me like they were my children too. And I really enjoyed teaching them and interacting with them.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. And so I want to know in terms of teaching mathematics, because I mean, when we were in person, when we had to be last term, I was there on Wednesday. Fortunately, when you had your classes too, how was that experience when you had to transition back again online, preparing these students for CXC? how did that, because I remember two students came to me that said me, I looked at the board and I saw mathematics and I'm like, I can't even remember not a single thing that is on that board right now because I have dropped mathematics. I got a grade 3 that I'm thankful for, and that is enough for me. And so I looked at two students and they're like, I'm like, you understand what's going on the board? And the student was like, Miss, I really like maths, Miss, I know Miss taught already, but and I'm internalizing everything now, and I just had to smile. So what about how was the transition like and the reaction of the students when you would have moved up online?
Let me say that I just miss the physical classroom. I miss the physical classroom. Maths for me has always been about relationships. And when we had to go online, that it started in April 2020. Although I did technology at DPED, and even when I did my bachelor's in sciences, I did technology, but I didn't have to use it in this way to teach mathematics. And now I had to learn the technology, and not just learn the technology. I always taught maths to the level where my students can understand. If I have to do it 10 times over for them and 10 different ways, that is what I will do. I'm very patient with them, and I just want them to learn it. It's like a passion for me. So eventually I learned the technology, but I was still concerned. In the back of my head, I always used to have this question: did my students understand what I taught? So I always used to look for strategies to ensure that they can tell me if they understood. One moment in time was when we had the graduation and one child gave her testimony. She said the maths teacher tried very hard to help us understand online. But it's not until we got back into the physical, it meant a lot. And that was the same challenge I used to face as a maths teacher. Another thing that really was a bother, my students, they were missing for some of the time, especially when we transitioned back from physical again onto online the last time there in 2021. It's like I lost the entire class. Wow. And I kept reaching out. I am here for you. I want to help you. Come, let's do some maths together. It was really challenging. Then the other area that I struggled with, there were times when my connectivity gave trouble. So sometimes when I ask a question, there will be a big lull, no answer. And that really used to irritate the life out of me. I really enjoyed the days when we came back physical. And two of the reasons why I enjoy those days is because I could actually look the students in the face and know if they understood.
Yeah.
I knew who I had to go to have a one-on-one with. And that really gave me joy. And I don't think that online school can totally replace physical school.
I agree with that 100%.
We'll have to work it. We'll have to work it together.
Definitely, because even today I was saying, I'm like, I can't deal with this thing for another semester, another school term, because it's like you're not seeing. And for me, I love interaction, and I'm just there in front of a screen. I spend time in front of a screen already for schooling too, and then I am here. I mean, just being at Harmon for a few months, I don't even know these children. So it's like, Miss, when I'm on the road and I'm like, somebody say, hi, Miss Shabiki, and I'm like, who am I speaking with? Oh, Miss, I'm in X class, and your name, please? Because I really don't know them, or if it's one or two times I see their faces on the camera, it's not enough. Mm-hmm. So indeed, just like you and your subject is worse than mine, let me don't say that. You need more physical interaction than me. and yet still I'm missing that. So I can really and truly understand how you were feeling during this period of time. But I'm happy that the students were quite understanding also. And what would you say? Usually this platform we have persons from different parts of the Caribbean looking. And so what would you say to other Harmonites and even students from around the Caribbean who will be entering Form 5, especially coming next week? What would your advice and your encouragement be to them?
I have 3 things I want to say to them. Number 1, there is no true victory without Jesus.
I love that.
Yeah. You must talk to him as often and just as you will talk with your bestie, your best friend. There will be times, especially if you are not used to having that talk with him, there will be times when it's like you're not hearing him. But if you continue the process, the name of this series is The Journey. It is a journey. Continue the process. Very soon you'll hear him say, this is the way, walk in it. He will just lead you down the right path. Number 2, believe in yourself. Believe that you already are victorious. Believe that you are excellent student and you can do this. Just keep telling yourself that every morning in the mirror. I am excellent and I can do this. And the last, I would say, number 3, put in the extra time to study and understand your content, whatever it is. And when I say put in enough time, you don't have to do it alone. I really admire the 2020 and the 2021 group, because what they did in the time of crisis, they depended on their friends and they found a way to make it work. So find your friends who will help, find your teachers who would help, butter them. Just keep buttering them and say, I have to get this. Miss, help me understand this. Your teacher, your parent, if they can help too, right? You've got this and you will be victorious.
Wow, I love that. I love that. And so the final question before you take your leave, as we explore the topic, the journey, I would like to know what would you say why would you encourage others to become students of this prestigious institution?
I would encourage anyone who wants to be a part of it. I would tell them first to pray about the decision, because we have a vision and our vision cannot change. And our vision is to make you see Jesus as your friend and make him your friend and be excellent in whatever you do, whether it be your talents, your character. That is what our school is all about. And therefore, if you want to be a part of this school, let God guide you in making that decision. So pray on it and become a part, because we are going to make you what God wants you to be. You want to join us to make a difference? We are going to support you. Now, the people you work with or the people I work with, we are broken just like you. We're not perfect, but we are willing to go the extra mile to see you achieve, to see you do your best, to see you make it to the kingdom, to see you give of your best when you go out there to work or when you go to another institution. So if you want to be a part of, I call it a pristine school, a blessed school, you can come along. We will enjoy your stay and you will enjoy being with us.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Madam Principal. Let me just bring back these students to the forefront. I'm going to bring back Lini, Kiva, and Angelica at this point in time. And let us see. All right. So Angelica, Kiva, and Lalini, what would you like to say? Madam Principal is here. She's in front of you. I don't know how many of you would have seen her like this in such a long time. What would you like to say to her?
I would
Okay, go ahead, Laline. Go ahead, go ahead. All right. Okay, so I would like to firstly thank Miss for her dedication. She was indeed one of the teachers that would sit back with us like we after our period finished just to make sure that we understood our work. She was also that teacher that will persistently have us, do something. So while some teachers may be more laid back and they may be like, okay, take this period, or for they just don't come to class, make sure not to miss a period at all, And every time everyone see her come in class, we all rushing to go to class before her. That is it, tell her the kind of authority, the respect we have for her. She was a very nice teacher, and she was one of the best teachers, I must say. Also as a principal, she's a really good principal too. But
Yes.
one thing about this, I realize, right, is like she has this two face, right? One time in the classroom, she is so like she really likes to laugh and make jokes. But when I go in the principal office, is serious joke. It's like, is this the same teacher? It's incredible. So that is one thing I admire about her. She knows when to be serious and when to get on bad. I would say that, but thank you very much.
You're welcome, Janita.
I like her honesty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But she can distinguish between the two. I love that. I love that. I love that. Lalini.
I would love to thank Miss for her dedication and persistence. She always made sure that she was easily accessible. So whenever I didn't understand something, I remember I was sending screenshots of work and saying, Miss, is this correct? Is this correct? And she kept sending videos, voice notes, making sure that I understood everything that I needed to understand for the exams. um like Angelica said, she's very fun loving. Even when I went down to the office, I realized that the teachers would tell her, Miss, you're doing too much. Miss, you need to, slow down, take a break. And that goes to show how much love that she give off and is able to receive. I actually look up to her, very dedicated. I love you, Miss, and thank you for all that you have done for me.
You're welcome.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Kiva, I'm wondering, Kiva, it's okay no. I noticed Kiva would have put in the private chat. She would have sent all her messages through. So I don't know, sometimes some people get nervous when they're facing the principal. Kiva, it's okay to put your camera back on. But let me just read what Kiva would have mentioned here. In the Kiva, please do the honors of reading what you would have written here to Miss Ross. Your microphone is muted again. It's all right. I know that these platforms say we just always have to keep remembering that.
Thank you so much for everything you have done to help us come both mentally, help us become more stronger, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. You have pushed us to do our very best in everything we do, and I'm absolutely grateful for having a teacher like you, Mistress. Even though there are times when she will come in class and I don't know, between all the teachers, it doesn't matter what Miss do, there's always Jones in the class. She will be teaching maths and like she will be making jokes with us during the class and like everybody weak in the class and then she will come back serious and everybody's like
Wow. Yeah.
but
I
all the teachers, I love her for Miss Ross the most.
Hmm.
Oh.
You're making
I
me
hope,
blush.
yeah, I hope you guys have been telling Miss Ross this even before you guys came on this platform, you know. But I I know Lalini is smiling and say yes, yeah, and that is the thing I know, you know. Miss Ross, even though, and I'm gonna allow you to. I know I told you up to 7:30 you'll be on, but we just have two more questions for these young people, and I'm gonna ask them in your presence. I really want you to be here with them, and it's when you leave secondary school and you can reflect back on the teachers you would have had, and you can when students can come to you and say, Miss, you know what, you're one of the best teachers I had, or you are, or you were the best teacher I had, you know, it's a beautiful feeling that nothing ever, like, it's different, right? And Miss Ross, these children are talking. I've just been there for a few moments in your classrooms while I was there, and I was saying, I said, hey, Miss is really a great teacher. And I was saying that from a teacher's perspective, just putting myself in the shoes of the children. And I know for a fact, and coming from a teacher to principal relationship, you are the best. And keep that up, keep your momentum up, keep your dedication and your commitment up. Anybody that you have to send to lunch,
Hmm.
you know what that is. That's real commitment to the highest level. They're not even eating, like, really, and that is what they're supposed to be doing to survival. So it says a lot about your personality and your character. So to
Thank you.
you're most welcome. So to my children, just two more questions for you. And so I want to ask you one of the questions I asked Miss Ross. What would you encourage other in terms of other persons, Harmonites, and even students from other parts of the Caribbean who will be entering fifth form next week? What would your encouragement be to them?
My encouragement will firstly be, please do not procrastinate. Like, do not wait for all your work to build up. You can use a method. I've tried to use this method by every time I get work, you just try to do it one time so that when the next one comes up, you would have it there to do, right? So that's one of the main advice I would give them. I would also tell them, don't forget to pray and ask God for his guidance.
Yes,
Many of us sometimes we just go to God when it's time just to ask for help. So just to create that communication, from the beginning, that will be something you can definitely do. And also create a good relationship with the teachers, as they are the ones that are there to carry you on to the step of the way.
definitely. Thank you very much. Beautiful encouragement to these children. Kiva, what about you?
I agree with Angelica when you said do not procrastinate, because I could tell you from experience, when you leave all your work there and just let it pile up, that's a lot to handle. Plus, you have, let's say, like you have, my parents have a business at home. You have to come home and you have to deal with that. So that was a lot. That is one thing I would tell you, do not do, because that will stress you out.
Definitely, definitely.
And another thing, involve God in everything that you do. It doesn't matter if it's, even if it's sleep, involve God in everything that you do. And I assure you, you will see improvements.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Kiva. Lalini.
I have four pieces of advice. The first one is to always pray before you do anything and after you do it, whenever you have major decisions. Just include God in everything that you're doing. Second is to have a goal. So if it is, you have to stick it up on the wall and every morning you wake up and you see where you need to achieve in your journey in completing fifth form. And not just putting a goal just so, you need to have sub goals that would lead up to that. So
Yes,
even if it is at the end of every week you need to complete this topic and understand it in full, yeah, that. The third one is to do your research, go in depth, find different ways, innovative, creative ways to understand, interpret your work. They could even ask the teachers for help, and yeah, they would give a further definition and stuff to what you're trying to understand. The fourth one would to be avoid procrastination at all costs. Just avoid it, because you do not want work piling upon you. And you also want to be versatile in your different learning styles. You don't want to just adjust to being to one, like being a visual learner. That may not always work in some cases, so you need to adapt to various ways, like if it is being an auditory learner. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. You know, Ladini, I love the fact that you would have touched on the final in terms of the different learning abilities, learning methods, learning styles. Because oftentimes, you know, some of us are, I'm extremely kinesthetic. I get bored just sitting down listening audio. I remembered one class in my university, I slept, and it happened but 3 times I slept in the English teacher's class. And the coordinator called me. That was at USC Mesa. I just started, and the coordinator called me and asked me, why is it that I keep sleeping in Miss class? And I'm like, I am bored. I need to do things with my hands. I need to be involved. And even for individuals who are listening and students who are listening, find your learning style. Whether it be kinesthetic, you may be a visual person. Look at stuff. Some of you may be auditory. Listen to stuff. Whatever it is that will help you to learn better, do it, and it will help you to be successful. Just before I go to the final question, Lalini, Miss Ross, is the very first time after listening to the graduation, well, looking at the graduation program, I would have really and truly learned the term salutatorian. I have every graduation is just the valedictorian. We usually invite to give a speech, and oftentimes the person who got second is not necessarily recognized. Besides, if they would have received awards and all of those things, and when I saw that last week, well, last 2 weeks, when Lalini being the salutarian for the school, for those of you members of the audience, she would have got second as the second best student overall. This question I want to pose it to Lalini personally. What was your experience like when you would have discovered that, you know, you have gained second overall? What was that experience like for you?
As soon as I got the call, I was beyond excited because I wouldn't say I didn't think I would not be able to do it, because I do believe in myself. But I was just beyond excited. I could tell from my mother's voice. It was cracking up, so I could tell that she was crying. Me and her was not in the same place when we got the call. But yeah, I could tell from just that.
Wow, wow. And I must say, I really enjoyed your speech. For those individuals who you may want to take a look at Harmon School of SDA, you can go to ASI Media and just type in Harmon School of SDA graduation ceremony. And trust me, you will be encouraged and you will be motivated just looking at the students, listening to the teachers. That interaction that day, it was a different kind of what should I say, intrinsic motivation to an extent. And I felt like even pushing, you know, and to be in school now and know that, hey, these students would have accomplished this. And then it's like, hey, I just gotta continue pushing myself. So that is the encouragement I got from you secondary school students from your graduation exercise. And so the final question I want to ask you this evening is, seeing that you're now completed with secondary school, I mean, the journey has just begun for you. It's a continuous stuff. I usually tell my students, when you finish fifth form, life has just begun for you. Then it's when you have to make some of the crucial decisions in your life that will affect you for eternity. What are some of your plans that you have as it relates to the future, or what you intend to do study-wise, work-wise? I don't know, what are your plans? Whatever you don't mind sharing, we'll be very happy to hear about your plans. All right, so we're going to start with Angelica, you could go right ahead.
Okay, so well, my plans, to be honest, I had a goal to see right to right. I had something I had my eyes on since I was in lower form, but COVID, COVID really come and, you know, have me a bit. It kind of take me off of the road a bit, but I was able to explore, uh, various other fields, and my options are still open. They're still very open, but I have branches that I would like to go and look into. For sure, I would like to go A level, so that is already being set it up. But as towards my career goal, I have two major stuff that I would like to explore. It all depends on my CXC grades as I get, and also my performance at A levels. Then that would better gear me towards whatever job I should do, and also with the guidance of God, He would also help me to. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Kiva.
For me, my plan, well, most likely aim, I want to be a cosmetologist. And right about now, since MIC is closed down, my sister is, she contacted me with a friend, and I'm looking to go and start a little training by them. In the meantime, to get a little money in. But yes, I'm aiming towards to become a cosmetologist. That is my biggest aim. I don't really have anything else. I always wanted to become a doctor since I was in primary school, but then came to realize I don't like the sight of blood.
Okay. So that would have changed drastically. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the same boat. We're in the same boat as it relates to that. But I'm happy that cosmetology, you take it up, girl. You go with it. Once you have ladies around, you will always have need for cosmetologists. Always. We love fashion, and you guys are needed. So you go for it. And as you mentioned, money. One of the things I usually encourage my fifth formers, listen, I could not have gone straight to university. My parents couldn't afford it. I had to work and send myself to you to teachers college first. Whatever it is that you have to do, you do that. So don't, if your parents can't, don't sit down and say, oh, I want to do this and I just can't do it now. You go work, save up your little money, send yourself to school, do whatever it is to achieve the dreams and the goals that you have in life. Lalini, what about you?
My main goal for life since I was 7 years old is to become a criminal lawyer, also a professional athlete. So my future plan right now is to do sixth form and to continue training, because after that I want to do university and to pursue my goals, as well as right now I also want to do like a little job on the side so that I can start saving up, because you never know what is ahead.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Thank you very much. And so, Ms. Ross, I don't know, your closing remarks. What do you have to say to these wonderful students that are here this evening?
It's already planted in you. Excellence is already planted in you. You have, Harman has done a lot, and you have done a lot already. You are going to make it. And wherever God leads, I know He would have led you well. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep them forever before you and just go for it. Even if sometimes it seems like it's not coming through, just trust the process.
Yes.
Trust where God is leading. The name of this talk is not perchance the journey. Anytime you take a walk on a road, it is not always smooth. You will have bumps. Sometimes you may fall. Lalini, you said you are an athlete. I was an athlete also, and there were incidents that I had to face being an athlete. And therefore, some of my plans changed too, but I trusted, and I'm being used in a positive way, and you can be used in a positive way. So keep trusting and keep going for it. Don't sit down. And as you go, I know your generation, sometimes we become quite independent and we could become a bit selfish, or we think that we are entitled to something. Go out there and respect people, be diligent, and just do what you know you would like somebody else to do for you. Make a difference. That's my last statement to contribute again.
Beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much, ladies. I mean, I'm sorry that Rishon couldn't be here, but thank you so much, Lalini, Kiva, and Angelica, and Miss Ross for being on this platform here this evening. I usually say, even if the program is not geared to touching everybody, this program was started in mind just to touch one person 1 week at a time. And so even if it's one young person's life is being transformed after this program, the aim and God's plan has been achieved. So thank you so much for being here. And Miss Ross, I'm going to ask you to close us in prayer just before I play the outro.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we are so grateful for your mercy and your grace. You have extended your love to us. Sometimes we can't even understand it. We can't fathom what you have in store for us. We are stunned for words at times. But we are so grateful that today you have allowed these young people to be a shining light to somebody else looking on. I want to thank you for this program. You have used Ms. Shabiki to touch, as she said, one young person. Somebody listening tonight, they felt like giving up. But after hearing you say, this is not the end, they can rise again and make a difference. I thank you, Lord, that even in spite of this pandemic and all the challenges that we are facing, you are still sending us blessings. Help us to keep our eyes on the positive and help us to lift up one another, dear God, so that in the end, when all is said and done, and we meet around that big tree or we meet around that table, we will be rejoicing, and we can say to somebody else, or somebody else can say to us, you helped us get into the kingdom just by the way you treated me or I treated you. We thank you again, and we thank you for the school called Hammond School of Seventh-day Adventists. Thank you for the pioneers who started it, and for those who are going to come in the future, we want to thank you in advance for them. May we forever lift up your name. This is our prayer in no other name but in Jesus' name. Amen.
Miss, you're muted if you're speaking.
Oh, wow. Oh my. Yes. So I'm noticed Mrs. Clark is there. She is reminding us about the mantra, because I'm a child of God, success is definitely mine. Right? Okay. Success is mine. Let me just we have to, everyone put on your microphone. It doesn't matter how it sounds. Put on your microphone and we're gonna repeat this, because this is the reality of the online virtual learning. So we're gonna start with the first 1, 2, 3, go right ahead.
Because I'm
a child of God,
success is mine.
Beautiful.
Because
The
I'm
second
a child of God. Success is surely mine.
The final one.
Because I'm a child of God, success is definitely mine.
Oh yes. So tonight, this evening, as we go on this journey, everyone, remember, success, true, because of the fact that we are children of God, success is ours. So good evening. Have a blessed evening. See you again next week at 6:30 p.m. God's blessing as I play the outro now. Bye-bye.
You have been a wonderful audience. Don't forget to like the page and follow on Facebook at Issues in Focus with Shabiki Bible. And subscribe to the YouTube channel Issues in Focus with Shabiki Bible. Follow me also now on Instagram with username Shabiki. Join us next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. God's blessings. See you then.